When we talked about Atmos in general and Brassic previously, you mentioned that in the more subtle moments, you don't necessarily notice that Atmos is there until you
No.
take it away and you go back to the
Yes.
5.1.
Yeah. Or even if you go to the stereo, it's quite amazing. You become so used to it sort of being all around you that you don't notice it as much. And then you knock it back to stereo and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, it's very flat now. And I do find when I watch the stereo mix, obviously we've got to watch the stereo mix, it's very disappointing. Because you just suddenly lost all this information and this sort of the immersiveness of it all around you that as you say, sometimes you don't realize it's there until it's not there. So it is an interesting thing. Switching back to stereo, you're just like, oh, really?
So do you think it's fair to say that having the opportunity to mix in Atmos has given you some additional creative ideas that you just probably wouldn't have even attempted if it was 5.1?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, in the past, if the little boy runs out of the room and he's going upstairs, you might get a little bit of stairs, clump, 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 but then that would be it. You'd forget about him, and but now it's quite good because you can have things going on, and there's another scene where they're in a weed house, and it's on different floors. So we managed to sort of keep, because the camera sort of tracks between the floors. So we managed to sort of get things, as the camera was panning down and we've left one conversation and came down to another conversation, the conversation, we got them to do a bit more ADR so we could keep the conversation going up above us. And so, yeah, it does open up more opportunities to do things and be creative. You start on the first series, and I was flicking between stereo and 5.1, constant and Atmos, and all with time changing. How does this work? How does this work? And every time, it worked really well, and there was nothing I had to change. And again, at the end of every mix, I sit and watch it on my own, just in stereo, just to see how things translate, how things are sounding. Never had a problem, never had to go back and think and change anything because I thought, in stereo it doesn't work, or in 5.1 it doesn't work. It worked every time. So in series 2, I sort of didn't bother switching that much. Because I was really confident that it was going to work. And I have this, I've talked to you about this before, this pet theory that my stereo down mix sounds better than if I'd mixed in stereo to start with. I've got a theory about that now. I think it's because maybe you spend more time panning things, so things are more spaced out. So then the down mix, obviously the down mixer process alters the levels of things in the mix. So I think it's something to do with that.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, Tony. It's been really insightful and great to hear about all the work that you did on Brassic in Dolby Atmos.